Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Gopi Janna Vallabha Jayo Giri Varadhari Jayo Giri Varadhari Jayo Gopi Janna Vallabha Jayo Giri Varadhari Jayo Giri Varadhari Shodanandana Bhraja Jana Ranjana Shodanandana Bhraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanacharim Munathira Vanacharim Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Radha Madhava Sri Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, Shloka 37 and 38. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. On the board, Shloka 38, so I will first read 37. Iti shantam sandhyām asurāḥ pramadāyatīm pralobhayantīm jagṛhur matvā mūḍha-dhiyaḥ striyam. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The asuras, clouded in their understanding, took the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman showing herself in her alluring form, and they seized her. Purport. The asuras are described here as mūḍha-dhiyaḥ, meaning that they are captivated by ignorance, just like the ass. The demons were captivated by the false, glaring beauty of this material form, and thus they embraced her. And now Shloka 38. Prahasya bhāva-gambhīraṁ jighrantyātmānam ātmanā kantyasasarja bhagavan gandharva apsarasam ganan prahasya bhāva-gambhīraṁ jighrantyātmānam ātmanā kantyasasarja bhagavan gandharva apsarasam ganan. Please chant. Vaishnavis? Bhāva-gambhīraṁ. Prahasya, smiling. Bhāva-gambhīraṁ, with a deep purpose. Jighrantyā, understanding. Ātmanā, himself. Ātmanā, by himself. Kantya, by his loveliness. Sasarja, created. Bhagavan, the worshipable Lord Brahma. Gandharva, the celestial musicians. Apsarasam, and of heavenly dancing girls. Ganan, the hosts of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. With a laugh full of deep significance, the worshipful Brahma then evolved his own loveliness, which seemed to enjoy itself by itself, the hosts of Gandharvas and Apsaras. Purport. The musicians in the upper planetary systems are called Gandharvas, and the dancing girls are called Apsaras. After being attacked by the demons and evolving a form of a beautiful woman in the twilight, Brahma next created Gandharvas and Apsaras. Music and dancing employed in sense gratification are to be accepted as demoniac. But the same music and dancing, when employed in glorifying the Supreme Lord as kirtana, are transcendental, and they bring about a life completely fit for spiritual enjoyment. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatharine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Ghora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this last verse we hear how Gandharvas and Apsaras were created, and Srila Vishnu Thakur, he comments when Lord Brahma, when he remembered beauty or loveliness, as Srila Prabhupada translates, Gandharvas appeared, and the beauty, his own beauty, became a moonlight. And then Lord Brahma, he smiled and smelled his own beauty, and in this way the Gandharvas and Apsaras were created. Smiled and smelled his own beauty. It's difficult to imagine how it looks like, but you can smell your own beauty. You can try smelling it. Anyway, I'm now going back to the first verse, in which is mentioned how asuras actually mistook the twilight as a beautiful, attractive woman. It is not that a real beautiful woman was there, but no, they were so lusty that they thought, oh, the twilight, you cannot properly see in the twilight, so that's why they thought it must be some very attractive woman. It was due to their own disposition, due to their own desire to enjoy beautiful women, they took twilight as a woman. So it was illusory women, not real women. So also in the 6th canto of Bhagavatam we have another type of illusory women mentioned by Vritasura to Indra. It's called Dharumai Nari. Dharumai. Nari is women, and Dharumai means woman made of wood. In previous ages they used to have these dolls of women made of wood. It was something common. And also Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says when they're trying to convince him to meet Maharaj Pataparudra, Lord says that Tapir Haja Kala Sarpakar Kashtanare Sparshe Jaiche Upaje Vikar. So here the word is Kashtanari, again, the lady made of wood. So although it is correct that the king is a great devotee, he is still to be considered a venomous snake, Kala Sarpakar. Similarly, even though a woman be made of wood or Kashtanari, one becomes agitated simply by touching her form. So the idea is that although this woman made of twilight or woman made of wood is not real, it still has a real effect on men or those who are disposed to enjoy them. In modern day world we don't have women made of wood, but we have robot women and they look very realistic, and in recent years they are equipped with AI, with artificial intelligence. They can talk, they can walk, almost like a real woman, and they're made so well with some special material, thermoplastic, elastomer. They're very, very highly realistic. And people who are bored of real women, they can purchase these women for only $15,000 and enjoy a relationship, or imagine having a relationship. I read the story of a guy who had a relationship with the ChatGPT. You know, he imagined that the ChatGPT is a lady, so he started conversing whole day and night. He was chatting with this ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was responding so promptly and so intelligently that he was completely illusioned in love. And it really took him some psychiatric help to get off of this relationship with the ChatGPT. So Prabhupada often mentions phrase Atmavan Manyate Jagat. Everyone thinks according to others, according to his own position. According to our own state of mind, we perceive the world and perceive other persons in this world according to our own mental conditioning. So in whatever we observe around us, we see what is meaningful for us, not what is meaningful for others, but what is meaningful to me. So for example, lusty man, he sees everywhere beautiful women. Greedy man, what he sees everywhere opportunity to make money. So we wear certain sort of colored glasses, and we see through these colored glasses, through our mental conceptions. So our perception is influenced by our own conditioning, by our own combination of gunas that we have. And we project our bhava, our mental state and feelings to other people and to events and situations that we happen to be. And often, the situations and events that are happening, they tend to confirm our own way of thinking. So it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If, for example, if you see people as very, hostile, unfriendly, unkind, you attract people like that, who will offend you, who will chastise you, because you, with your mental energy, you're attracting them. And others, they see everybody is very kind, friendly, helpful, and then all of a sudden everybody is very nice to you because you perceive the world around you like that. So it's not any sort of magic, it's just our own mental energy, our energy of our mind that is attracting certain experiences that are in accordance with our projection. Sometimes in the New Age world they like to mention the law of attraction. It's popular law that you basically attract whatever you meditate about, and it's very much misused by materialistic people to attract, more sense gratification. You imagine you want a nice car, you just keep imagining this nice car or big bank check, and then it will come one day. It will, somebody will give you a car, somebody will give you more money, but it's not really simple like that. We have to have a past karmic credit, but certainly there is something there in this mental energy attracting certain sort of experiences. So as Lord Brahma, he is creating with his own mind. He's using his mind to create the world, the universe, and he just remembered the beauty, and immediately Gandharvas and Apsaras, they were created. Similarly, with our own mind, we create our own experiences in the situations that are created by our own karma. So in the same situations, experiences of two different persons can be completely different depending on our perception of the situation. So how we accept certain circumstances and situation in life is the expression of our own free will. So even in situations when we don't have any free will to act, we always have a free will to react in certain way that nobody can take from us. For example, in a very restrictive circumstances, like in prison, somebody is put in prison, he has no freedom, but still he has a free will how he will react to this imprisonment and all the things that are happening there to him. Some time ago I read one book called Man's Search for Meaning, written by Viktor Frankl, which was an Austrian psychologist. In the Second World War, the Germans, they imprisoned him and whole his family, and they kept him in Auschwitz for some years, and he was the only one from his family who survived in these concentration camps. And there he used his time to actually do the research of human nature. He observed other prisoners and saw what was their mental condition and how they reacted. And he had really some very interesting realizations. He noticed one of his realizations was that everything could be taken from those people in the camps: family, possessions, health, freedom. But the Nazis, they couldn't take freedom to choose one's attitude. Still, even in these very difficult situations, people could choose their attitude. So he saw some prisoners choose dignity, choose kindness, choose hope in spite of all the suffering. And he saw also those who chose their lower nature, who reacted like animals, who completely lost hope. And he saw those who lost hope, they very quickly deteriorated physically, psychologically, and very quickly died. And those who had some future purpose, who had something to live, they were much more resilient, and some of them, they survived, including him. So this led him to one very important principle that he derived from these experiences, and that is, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. I'll repeat it. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Meaning that if you have a purpose in your life, you have a meaning, you can bear all sorts of difficult situations. But if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a meaning, even small things will put you off and you won't be able to tolerate. After he was freed from this concentration camp, he formed one school in psychotherapy called logotherapy. And there are certain principles that he formulated based on his experiences in this concentration camp. First principle of this logotherapy is that love gives life ultimate meaning. Although he didn't know much about love of God, still he concluded that ultimate meaning of life is love. And we will agree to that, just we will add love of God, not any sort of love. And then he also, second principle that he had is the freedom of attitude remains always. Even in captivity, even in prison, difficult situations, you have a freedom to choose your attitude. You can choose very positive or very negative attitude. And future purpose is what sustains survival. And also the one more principle is that suffering can be transformed into something meaningful. Even suffering, what to speak about positive experiences. So meaning is life is what motivates a person to live and go on in spite of all the difficulties. And there are different levels of this meaning that people have. Lowest animal level. What is the meaning for somebody who is on this level? It's just unrestricted sense gratification. People just want to eat well, drink, sleep, have a sex, protect themselves. That's all. They don't think much more about this. And then there is a little higher level when people have families, then parents, mother and father. They find their purpose in upbringing their children. It's very hard work, It requires a lot of sacrifice, from babyhood, just to have a children. A lot of sleepless nights. But still, mother and father, they don't find it very difficult because they see meaning in it. They see very meaningful to bring to this world another human being and help him, stand on his legs. But then what happens when the children grown up and go away from home? Then the old parents, they lose this meaning. That meaning is not there anymore. And then if they don't have something else as their meaning, they quickly, lose will to live. And then they deteriorate mentally and physically. Or some other people, they find meaning in their career or occupation. If somebody has his own business, he's just thinking how he can expand his own business. Somebody who is working for a corporation, he has to accept, purposes and goals of this corporation of his own. And then basically he has no life apart from this corporation. He has to work from early morning till late night. And corporation goals are his meaning of life. I guess those who have government jobs, especially in India, they're the most laid back. Recently I was in Krishnanagar in some government office, and 11 o'clock they start coming, and then slowly cooking, coffee and tea. Maybe 11:30 they will sit behind the desk. It's very laid back because government is not really pushing them with some high goals. Or somebody else can have some academic career and he wants a PhD, so this becomes his meaning. Or somebody is a musician, his musical career is everything for him. Some people, find meanings in working for community, for their own nation, for some noble cause, like a climate change. Some people now want to fight against climate change, and they're very, very much passionate about it. So all these sort of meanings people have in this life, but for all of them is common that they are all aimed to give happiness and fulfillment in this lifetime only. Then they don't go beyond this lifetime. So meaning at the end of life, this meaning is also gone, or sometimes even before. But in Vedic society, Varnashrama Dharma, people, they follow the rules and regulations of their own Varma and Ashrama with idea for elevation in the next life, not in this life. Like Karmakanda followers, they want to go to Swarga and drink Soma Rasa there and enjoy asuras. That's why they are ready to accept all sort of tapasya here, because they have very strong motivation. I will enjoy for 10,000 years in Swarga, and this is worth few years of tapasya and suffering here is worth of 10,000 years of enjoyment there. And this is actually smarter than the goals that are focused on this lifetime only. But the problem with that is that eventually that enjoyment in Swarga will also come to the end. And again, you will come back to this earth and you will continue repeated birth and death. So that's why it's also not so smart. And then we have a transcendentalists like Jnanis and Yogis. For them, meaning of life and meaning of their practice is what? Mukti, liberation. They want to completely finish material life and enjoy unlimited happiness of Brahman. And then of course we have devotees or bhaktas. So what is the meaning for devotees and bhaktas? Can we ask ourselves what is the meaning of our spiritual practice, our spiritual life? We should be a little introspective. Of course, in theory, we all know, yes, love of God, going back to Godhead. But in practice, in our own life, do we really take this goal of love of God and going back to Godhead as our main purpose and main meaning in life? So for example, for a very new devotee, meaning could be to get initiated. He wants to get first initiation and be accepted in a community of devotees, and then he wants Brahman initiation second, to get a spiritual name, become a part of devotee community. But once he achieves these goals, okay, now you are second initiated, you are Brahman. Now what else? Okay, he promised to follow 4 rules and regulations, to chant 16 rounds. It's a promise to Guru. Is it? Can that be a meaning? Just to follow 4 regulatory principles? Is it something very inspiring and motivating? Till end of my life, I just want no meat, no alcohol, no gambling, no illicit sex. Is this something very inspiring? This is just basic don'ts, what we are not supposed to do. But inspiration and meaning has to come from something that is positive, that I want to achieve in the future, in my spiritual life. So what that could be that we want to achieve in the future? To become a temple manager or temple president maybe? Or GBC, or maybe even a guru, a sannyasi. This is motivating factor for some devotees, definitely. So, but if we are materially ambitious, we will certainly see some meaning in these meanings. But sincere devotee who is free from material desires, he wants only Krishna, love for Krishna and pure unalloyed devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada gave us going back to Godhead phrase. Even he named a magazine like that. And this is certainly worthy goal, that we want to finish our material existence and we want to go back to Godhead. But we need to come on our own to a realization that really we want to go back to Godhead. That really I don't want anything material in this world, in the next. And I want to go to my eternal home and live their eternal life in a loving relationship with Krishna. As this Viktor Frankl that I mentioned, love gives life ultimate meaning. Although he didn't know what real love is, we know it's the love of God. And for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas, what kind of love it is? It is Raja Prema. It's love that is found in Vrindavan, not love in Vaikuntha, not love in Ayodhya or some other place in the spiritual world. It's a love of Krishna's associates in Vrindavan. So for followers of Lord Chaitanya, this is vertigo, achieving this Vraja Prema. And also vertigo is distributing the mercy to others, jiva-doya, helping others to also achieve the same love and revive their eternal relationship with Krishna. But if somehow or other in our practical experience in life some other goals are more meaningful and have a higher value and priority, then it will take us some time before we are ready for pure and unalloyed bhakti. If we are lucky, Krishna will start taking away from us the things that we are attached to. He'll start taking our money, our wealth, like he himself says in 11th canto, yasyaham anugrinami harishye tadhanam shanait tattodhanam tijantyasya svajana dukkhadokitam. If I specially favor somebody, I gradually deprive him of his wealth, then his relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way he suffers one distress after another. So in this way the spiritual life can also have a lot of suffering if we are so much attached and our goals and our meaning is not properly tuned. So when Lord Brahma, I'm going back to the verse, when Lord Brahma remembered beauty, Gandharvas and Apsaras appeared as personification of his own beauty. In a Western mythology, the Gandharvas and Apsaras, they are, I think, equated with angels, the very nice beings with the small wings. So they live in a Gandharva Loka and also upper planetary systems. Besides their beauty, they also have many siddhis, mystic perfections that we don't have. They can move from one planet to another, appear and disappear. But because of that beauty, they very much attract opposite sex and apsaras there, and apsaras are very irresistible. They smell like roses, and no Gandharva can really resist that beauty. Once, many years ago, I met one brahmachari who was Naishtika brahmachari. He never had anything to do with women in this life. But then he confidentially once told me, actually, it's not that I don't want to have anything to do with women. I don't want to have anything with women of this world. But those women there, apsaras, they are real women. That's why I will practice tapasya in this life, and the next life I will really enjoy. So, and in one sense, it's true that enjoyment there is much, much more than the enjoyment you can have here. In Bhagavatam we also find one short story from a life of Gandharva. This is from Narada Muni's previous life, when he was a Gandharva in Gandharva Loka. He described how he had very beautiful face, very beautiful bodily structure, and he was always decorated with the flower garlands and sandalwood, and he was very, very attractive to all the apsaras of his city. And in this way he was always very much bewildered by his lusty desires. So he was basically a playboy whose only meaning in life, only goal of life was to attract attention of these apsaras. And once there was a Sankirtan festival in higher planetary systems organized by Prajapatis, and the purpose of this Sankirtan festival was to glorify the Supreme Lord in the assembly of the demigods. So Gandharvas and Apsaras, they were all invited, and Upabarhana, this was Narada's name in that Gandharva life, he was also invited. So he joined there, surrounded by many of these women, many of these apsaras, and then he starts singing the glories of the demigods instead of joining the Sankirtan of the holy names of the Lord. And then seeing him and hearing him, Prajapatis, they became very angry, and they cursed him. You become a Shudra, devoid of all beauty. and that was kind of very heavy curse for somebody like Gandharva, so beautiful. So what was his offense? First, he joined the Sankirtan festival in the company of lusty women, which is inappropriate. As second, he was singing ordinary songs glorifying mortals, people of this world, instead of Lord's holy names. This was his second offense, and that's why they cursed him. And we know the story. He became a son of Shudrani, but in that life he was very fortunate to have an association of pure devotees, Bhaktivedantas, and in their association he had the opportunity to hear and chant and about the Lord and attain, the goal of life, the real goal of life. And then after that he got born as immortal Narada Muni, son of Lord Brahma. So in that life as Upabarhana, his heart and mind was very much filled with the lusty desires. Although he tried, to join the Sankirtan, but it was not very successful. So chanting Kirtan, Sankirtan and Japa, these are our main ways of making spiritual progress. And we need to learn how to do it properly to get the full benefit. Of course, holy name, however you chant it, it's always beneficial. Sanketam parihasyam va stobam helanam eva va vaikunta nama grahanam asheshagraharam vidu. So whether we chant the holy name to refer to something else, sanketam, or we chant it jokingly, parihasyam, or stobam, we chanted neglectfully helanam or stobam. What was stobam? Stobam was yes. Or in any case, Vaikunta Nama, that holy name of Krishna, it will destroy all the sins. Shesha agaharam. But still, to attain the full benefit of chanting is something more. It's not just destruction of sins. In Chaitanya Charitamrita we have a description how once Vallabhacharya, he met Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, and he asked him for the meaning of Krishna's name. Lord Chaitanya, he was surrounded by his associates like Nityananda Dvaitacharya, Sarvabhaumacharya, Swarup Damodar and others. But Mahaprabhu, he seemed to ignore his question. So Vallabhacharya again repeated the question because he wanted to show his scholarly explanation of the meaning of the holy name. And then Mahaprabhu said, Krishna namera bahu artha nahamani shema sundara shoda nandana e matrajane. So he said, I don't know the meaning of Krishna's name. He pretended to be ignorant. I only know that Krishna is Yashoda Nandana and Shema Sundara. I do not know any other meanings. So what is the meaning of Krishna's name? Or Mahamantra that we are chanting every day. Do we know the meaning? Srila Prabhupada gave us the simplest meaning of the Mahamantra. Oh my Lord Krishna, oh the energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. Please accept me. So our success in chanting of this Mahamantra will depend on our conception and understanding of what we are chanting. We must have a right conception and the meaning of the mantra in the mind while chanting, and our consciousness must be filled with a surrender. We must have a proper attitude, which is Sharanagati. So regarding this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, by chanting the name while understanding its meaning and praying to Krishna with tears in the eyes, gradually by Krishna's mercy the chanting will advance. If this method is not followed, it will take many lifetimes to reach perfection. So in other words, if we chant without properly understanding the meaning, without having proper conception of the name of Krishna, it will take many lifetimes till we achieve perfection. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains that even Mayavadis and sometimes materialists, they also chant Mahamantra, but because they have a wrong conception, their chanting is not giving the proper result. They might get, bhakti, material enjoyment, or they might get even mukti, but they'll never get prema, because their understanding is not correct. Their conception is not correct. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, it's mentioned in a commentary of Vyasa that the yogi who fully understands the relation between the word and the meaning must constantly repeat it and habituate the mind to the manifestation of the meaning in the mantra. So the mind of the yogi constantly repeats the mantra and habituates the mind to the constant manifestation of idea that it carries. And in this way the mind becomes ekagrata, one-pointed. So this practice of remembering the meaning of the mantra is also mentioned by Sanatana Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas, where he says, to be attentive, purification of the heart is required. This means keeping silence and avoiding unfavorable talking. While chanting, one must affectionately remember the meaning of the mantra. Steadiness, patience, and attachment to chanting are all treasures of chanting. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, in certain talks and essays, he mentions how the name of Krishna is the divine sound, but he compares it to the capsule of medicine. And capsule is not the medicine. Externally, different capsules, they look like each other, but inside can be something very different. It can be a medicine that is very healing, or it can be a cyanide, poison. So similarly, it is not the sound of Krishna's name that is Krishna. Krishna is within the sound. This is Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur. The holy name must be surcharged with the proper spirit, with the devotional spirit, not mundane sentiment. So that's why we see that true conception of the holy name is necessary to achieve the perfection in chanting. Tape recorder or parrot, they can also pronounce the name of Krishna, but this is just a physical sound that is not Krishna. Background of that sound must be consciousness, and must be devotional consciousness, not any consciousness. Must be pure consciousness. So Nam Akshara, the syllables of the holy name, and the holy name proper, it's a different thing. Comparison is also given that material tongue cannot touch the holy name. Similarly, as Ravana couldn't touch Sita, he could touch only Maya Sita, but not the real Sita. So unless we have a proper devotional conception of the holy name and proper attitude of surrender and consciousness, we are not really chanting the holy name. To illustrate this, I'll give one story. Once Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur traveled to Kulinagram together with Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur, who was at that time a very small boy. Kulinagram is a place where many of Mahaprabhu's associates appeared, so they went there for the pilgrimage, to visit these holy places. So before they entered the Kulinagram, they noticed one old, half-broken temple, and it was already almost dark. So when they were passing by this temple, there was a man there who invited them, why don't you take a rest overnight in the temple, and then in the morning you can go and to the village and have your parikrama. So they said, okay, we'll do that. So they went to the temple, they prepared themselves for the night, they went to sleep, but suddenly, some sounds started happening around, and they woke up and they saw the pieces of bricks and stones were flying around here and there, and looks like nobody was there. They were just flying on their own. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur immediately suspected that this place is haunted haunted by ghosts. So he started chanting very loudly Mahamantra for some time. And then after some time the disturbances stopped, and they went back to sleep. So in the morning they woke up and they walked into the village, and they met some man there in the village who saw them. "Oh, you came very early in the morning. Where did you spend the night?" And they told him, "Oh, we slept in this half-broken temple." And he was very much astonished. How could they sleep in this temple? Because this temple is hosted by very, very ferocious ghosts, Brahma Rakshasa, and nobody can stay there overnight. Otherwise, everybody who tried that, they died, they perished. So how did you manage? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explained to him, "But we just chanted the holy name of Krishna, and these disturbances, they stopped." But then he asked the man, "But why is this happening in this temple? What was the story of this temple?" Then the man explained to him, previously in that temple, one pujari, one priest, he lived there. And all the time he chanted Hare Krishna. But at the same time, he committed many sinful activities. He was not a good man. He was a very sinful man who had illicit relationships. He was stealing, he was robbing, he was killing. But all the time he was chanting Hare Krishna. So we are very amazed, that he became a ghost. And how is it possible for somebody who always chants Hare Krishna to become a ghost and have such a low life? And the Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained to him, actually he was not chanting the holy name, he was only chanting Nam Akshara. But because his consciousness wasn't proper, his conception of the holy name was not proper, he was committing only Nama Aparad. That's why he got the body of a ghost. And then the man inquired, "So what is the recourse for such persons who are trapped in the body of a ghost?" And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explained to him, the only recourse for such a person trapped in a ghost body is to hear the pure holy name from pure Vaishnava. And the man was satisfied. So he took them on a parikrama, and they went back. And after that, the villagers, they noticed there were no more disturbances in this temple. All the ghosts from the temple, they were gone. So they concluded, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur was that pure Vaishnava who liberated that ghost. And when they came to Mayapur, they described this to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and offered his obeisances and praise. This story was even published in the newspapers by Gaudiya Math in those days. So Nama Parada, just Nam Akshara, is not the real name. It has to be searched hard with the proper spirit, with the proper consciousness, with the proper understanding. This is what we need when we chant the holy name. And Acharyas, they gave us, many meanings of the holy name. So we should take one of those meanings and meditate on these meanings while chanting. In this way, the mind will be contained in the proper container of the proper meaning and proper conception. For example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives some meaning. I will read it to you. That Hare can be taken as Radharani and can be taken also as Hare. So in this particular meaning, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he translates Hare as Hare. So he says, first Hare, "O Hare, please attract my mind and free me from this material world." Then Krishna, "O Krishna, please attract my mind by pulling it to you." Hare, "O Hare, please attract my heart by showing your unsurpassed sweetness." Krishna, "O Krishna, please purify my mind with the knowledge of bhakti given to me by your own devotees." Krishna, "O Krishna, please give me firm faith in your name, form, qualities, and pastimes." Krishna, "O Krishna, may I develop a taste for serving you." Hare, "O Hare, please make me qualified for your service." So these are all bona fide meanings of the holy name that we can meditate while chanting, and in this way the mind will be very much focused and peaceful. So point was that we have to have proper conception, proper understanding, not only of the holy name, but of our complete spiritual practice, our sadhana, in order to achieve the full benefit. So this was some thoughts that I had about the meaning in life and meaning of our sadhana and spiritual practice. If you have any comments or questions, there are only a couple of minutes left.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very nice class. So today in this verse, one word is there, Gandharva. Gandharva, the celestial musician. So His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, he gave the same class, same verses in the Radha Rajbihari Temple, Juhu, Mumbai, in this month, September, 13 September 1995.
Oh.
In the Juhu, Mumbai.
30 years ago.
Mumbai is very famous for Bollywood, Bollywood film and Bollywood music. And the composer, very famous composer, and their melodies very famous all over the world. And Radhanath Swami Maharaj is very best Kirtaniya. Our Mayapur Kirtan Mela, a very nice Kirtan. And he took one melodies from that Bollywood music, and very famous that melodies in ISKCON. And not only Radhanath Swami Maharaj, also B.P. Govinda Swami, Bhakti Bingo Govinda Swami Maharaj, he was chanted, he took the melodies from mundane music. And Loknath Swami Guru Maharaj also, he chanted 2 or 3 kirtan, and he took the melodies from outside. So very nice melodies. My question is, do you follow their footsteps or not? Sometimes we chant these melodies, but some devotees don't like. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this stobam in that verse means chanting the name for entertainment. Stobam helanam vaha. Even if you chant, for the entertainment, still vaikuntanaha magrahanam, it will destroy all sinful activities. So these musicians from outside, they may have very, very nice melodies, but their conception of the holy name might not be proper. There is some famous Kirtaniya called Krishna Das, but he's not even vegetarian, and he has completely impersonal Mayavad conception. So to take part in Kirtan led by such a person, I don't think it's very auspicious. But if we are devotees and we have a proper conception, and we just take the melody, but then we surcharge that melody with the proper spirit, with proper devotional understanding, then there is no harm. We just took the melody, but we have the understanding, and we have a proper conception, and we want love of God. We don't want bhakti or mukti as they may want. So just borrowing the melody doesn't harm. Although there are many traditional Gaudiya Vaishnava kirtans and ragas and melodies in our own tradition and sampradaya, that even that I think it could be just enough. There's so many traditional, especially in Bengal, so many these traditional ragas. So why do we need to go to some Bollywood movie songs and take their tunes and melodies? Okay, for preaching purposes, for Harinam outside, we can take it. But otherwise, there are so many traditional ragas that we can utilize. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, just one thought about mainly the melodies what they use outside people also. They cannot use anything unless they are fully demoniac. They use also all our classical music only, means which are actually there is mentioned in the Vedas. So they are using our things, and they are making it mundane. So why don't we can take that and make it divine, with, as you told, that giving emotion of Krishna Bhakti into it.
Yes.
So I think unless it depends upon a person who is using that melody. I mean, it's all about the consciousness and the bhava.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. Very good suggestion. We should take back our own melodies from them that they are misusing and surcharging them with the mundane bhava. We should give it proper transcendental bhava, devotional bhava. A good idea, thank you. Anything else? Thank you all very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.